I'm Angela Linton, and welcome to my kitchen in beautiful Dubuque, Iowa. Today we're going to make Angela's infamous bean dip. It is the quintessential party dip for any occasion. And nowadays we're invited to lots of people's parties and we just don't have time to make anything because we're all so busy. So today, with the help of a simple can of black beans and of course Philadelphia cream cheese, we are going to make the bean dip that everyone will be talking about when you leave the party. Okay, so if you're short on time, using a double boiler is a fantastic way to get your infamous bean dip ready in no time. If you have plenty of time and you just want to get this made in advance, crock pot is a perfect solution for that, because then you just throw all the ingredients in on low, put the lid on, walk away, you get ready for your party, and you're out the door. So first thing you do with your double boiler, which is what we're using today, is you take your Philadelphia cream cheese and you cut it into chunks, and I've already done these, so I'll just put them into the double boiler. And then we have our next packet, because you want, remember, 2 packets of Philadelphia cream cheese. I appreciate everybody trying to lose weight, but please use the original Philadelphia cream cheese, because when you're going to a party, calories don't count. That's the special part about going to a party. Nothing really matters when you eat there, so eat the good stuff. So original Philadelphia cream cheese, again, just cut into chunks like I did just now, and then you throw these into your double boiler. I like to put them in first because then they really get the original steam. Okay, so now we have our chunks of Philadelphia cream cheese in the double boiler. I always like to put it in first because then the cream cheese gets all of that direct steam coming up and gives it a little head start on the melting. So, and then you take your drained and rinsed black beans and you put them in the dish. I like to rinse them simply because it keeps the color of the dish light and bright. Sometimes in autumn I won't rinse them. It adds a little extra earthiness just in the appearance of it. It's really a personal preference. But for this dish I actually rinse them. So once those are in, you just give it a little stir. The cream cheese is still pretty pulled together, so you're not going to get a lot of combination. But at this point, here's where the easy part comes in. You just start adding everything you have. So we start with our 2 tomatoes that we've diced. I don't seed these because with the cream cheese and the black beans, the seeds and juice help add a little looseness to it, which is nice. So you add those right in. Then you add your 2 scallions that you have cut all the way up. I love the green. Green part of the scallion has equally as much flavor, and it adds a really nice brightness and color to this dish. Then you have your 1 can of large pitted black olives sliced. Your 1 jar of quartered marinated artichoke hearts. 2 avocados that have been sliced. Now, here's the very easy. A lot of people say, well, I have such a hard time with avocados. This is how you can do it. You just use a small paring knife, dice up the shapes in the avocado, and then you take a spoon and look, slip that spoon in there, and then you just go around. And it's that easy. Then you have your diced avocado in there. I love cilantro. Cilantro seems to be one of those spices that you either love it or you hate it. So for me, I love it. If you don't love it, you don't have to put it in. To me, it's a nice additive to the dish. So this is just 1 bunch of the green part of a cilantro head. Sprinkle that in. This is 2 cups of sharp shredded cheddar cheese. If you want to save a little money, you can buy a block of shredded cheddar and shred it yourself, but for convenience, you just take the shredded cheddar. If you want, start off with just a nice handful, and you can add to your own liking in this. I also like jalapeno. I love spice, I love flavor, so for me, I will add jalapeno in here. If you don't like spice or your friends don't like spice, then that's your choice. This is another optional, but I will throw in a few jalapeno. I also really like the juice. Pickled jalapeno has a nice tangy, spicy flavor to it, so I love to add a little bit of juice in there. Next is this salsa verde. Salsa verde is just a green salsa made with tomatillo. If you're unfamiliar with the tomatillo, it just has a little bit of a milder flavor, but it does have a lot of flavor. The tomatillo salsa is made with cilantro and tomatillo. Again, optional. You can add whatever salsa you would like for your own flavor. And then we just give this a mix. As you can see, it's going to be very chunky at first until the cream cheese starts to melt down. And you just let it cook down for a few minutes. Okay, so as you can see, everything has started to sort of meld together. The cream cheese, as Philadelphia cream cheese always does, melts beautifully and makes this creamy, beautiful, vibrant dish. And now we get to the seasoning portion of it. As you know, you don't want to season until the very end, because as you cook things, the spices that you put in very early will really sort of build, and so you can start off with a little spice, and if you let it cook too long, it's a big spice. So we like to put all of our spices and flavoring in at the end. So what we like to do is take the juice of one lime. It really adds a nice flavor to it, and it also ends that you don't have to add as much salt. So if you have seen one of these, this is an actual lime juicer. If you do not have one of these, it is such a fantastic little gift in the kitchen. Find it at any Latina Mart. You take your lime half and you stick it right into this little section here and squeeze down. So the juice of one lime. Cumin is another huge spice used in Latino cooking. I love it. Again, if you are not a big cumin fan, you can omit it or just use a little bit. I really like it, so I use at least a half a teaspoon, but really, when you're in the kitchen, I love to play with it. So play with your spice level, start with a pinch, build from there. Same with the cayenne pepper. I love spice, so I'll probably use a little bit more. I would suggest starting off with maybe about 1/8 of a teaspoon and build from there. The beauty of spice is you can add more, but it's really hard once you get too much in there. So I will just put in probably a little closer to 1/4 of a teaspoon. Again, I really like the seasoning. And then salt. I always use kosher salt. You can use sea salt. If you use iodine salt, use a little bit less of the table salt. It is a finer granule, so it does have more flavor. So that's why you'll always see people who use kosher salt, they seem to use a lot more. It's not that they're using that much more salt, it's just the larger crystal in it. So once you get all of those flavors and spices in there, just give it a nice stir around. And here's where the real fun begins. Now you give it a little taste and see if it's where you want it to be at. And you can play from the flavors from there. So here we are with our final product, and this, again, you are going to just knock the socks off of everybody with this. The most brilliant part about this, it's vegetarian. So for all your friends who always struggle when they go to a party because they never have anything for them to eat, they will be blown away with this. They'll all want the recipe, and your meat-loving friends will never, ever realize that there's no meat in this. This is a beautiful dish that you can take from gorgeous appetizers to putting on the table to putting on your eggs the next morning. This is the bean dip that keeps on giving. So thank you so much for joining me here in my kitchen. And now it's time to eat. You're going to love it.